And hello, everybody. It is I, the Roguescaper, coming to you on the day before National Heroescape Day, I believe. It's the third. It's the third Saturday tomorrow. Yeah, it is. So I hope you're all doing well on National Heroescape Day Eve. We are painting Kilkorax today. Just getting some initial layers on as I do this. I am going to a tournament tomorrow, so we can certainly talk about that if you're hopping on. I need some help plan an army out. But other than that, we're going to be just painting this undead Kyrie here. She is not a great unit as now to be in your army, but she might start seeing some more use with future Renegade releases. So maybe she'll be good someday. As of now, she is a really cool model that is collecting dust. I've already painted one before, but I sold that, and now I need to paint a new one. Welcome, James, to the chat. I hope you're doing well today. And let's get some music on for me. For some reason, I'm not hearing it. Hope everyone's doing well today. Alright, there we go. I think we are cooking now. And let's move my cup to the right spot. There we go. So we're going to start off by layering Kilkorax's face right here. We're going to use a bit of Payne's Gray, which is a very nice dark bluish color with a bit of dark purple. Kind of creating this off purple here. Because if you look at the official card art, Kilkorax definitely has a very kind of... It appears almost like formerly African skin or colored skin. But it looks like death has made it an off purple. And thus, we paint it. I have Zenithal primed this just to make it appear visible on camera, and but it's a great way to, especially with a model with all those details, it is a great way to start. Going with the original paint scheme, yeah, for the most part I try to keep it pretty much as close to the original. If I have a couple variations, I always make those, but I honestly like the scheme for this one. I like the black fabric and the bones. It's just simple. I honestly don't care enough about this unit to think of anything more interesting. I did see someone make a really nice like green skin like witch version of this, which I thought was really cool. Alright, we're just painting all the skin tone, this mix of Payne's Gray and dark purple. This model definitely needs a very fine tip brush, as there's just a lot of small details, like surprising amount of small details for this model. And weird angles with the wings too. I will say I have been putting off painting this model for a bit. Alright, it just honestly has been a very long week for me, but I couldn't even tell you what I did. I just kind of feel kind of worn out today, so sorry if I appear a little sleepy. I'm just not I'm doing this more to defrag than anything else. I had 3 kiddos sick with fevers all week, all of different kinds, between just like colds it felt like, to the croup cough and all that kind of stuff. So it's been kind of long. Be cool to see the Revenant builds later with Kilkorax. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. They did a really good job of bringing this army definitely up to snuff, for sure. Because Kilkorax, you've probably heard me say it before, probably one of the worst units released thus far in Age of Annihilation. Just in terms of of output. All right, so now we are. Let's get a little bit of dark brown on here. I forgot to put that on my palette for the hair. If I can find where I put that. Let's see here. I have some royal brown ink, which is nice to use. Just get a good solid brown as we build up to more of a reddish layer. Honestly, I think the Revenants are the squad I'm most looking forward to playing. They just have a lot of they're like more interesting Phantom Knights. The Knuckle V is going to be really fun to paint. Next year for Scape-Oween, we're going to have a lot of spooky things to paint. I'll probably have to hold off some of them for this. The format for tomorrow, it's up in Wichita. Going to finally making it up to the Wichita group. I've been wanting to go there for a bit. Is all time. It's 500 points, no figure limit. The caveat is that you have to including your points, Rayland 4.0. So you really have 395 points to build into that. And honestly, I wish the format was wish it was like Doubleton or Singleton, because I feel like there'd be more Doubleton or Rule of like 9 or whatever, because I feel like there'd be a lot more interesting builds. But it's just, I feel like it's going to be common spam. Even though I really want to play a unique build. Like, I really just want to play, like, the Dryans. I just got them. They look pretty cool. But I've never played with Rayland 4.0. So I really don't know, like, how to use her. She seems interesting. But also kind of, like, unwieldy to use. Rayland Mountain of Crabs. I thought that would be funny. I'm actually planning on running a crab build for if I am able to join Sir Hero Escape's next tournament. I have a pretty dumb crab build for that one. I think it's 4 times crabs, Shirak, Molten Claw, and Ornak. Which I feel like actually has a little bit of move there. It'd be fun to play. I feel like in a Sir Hero Escape tournament, I'm losing anyways, so I might as well play something wacky. You know, like I'm not making top cut there. I think I would like do something like I don't really care about winning. I care about having like a fun time. But I am also like driving 3 hours up there, and it's a double elimination. So I'm just like, I don't want to be out after like 2 games if possible. So I'm like, do I go cheese? Do I go just off the wall? I don't know. I haven't. What I'm thinking about running, because it fits perfectly into the slots, is Sonlin, 3 times Scions, and Raylan, which is pretty fun. Because I feel like Sonlin and Raylan actually have a bit of interplay there. Let's see if we can get a better focal length here. There we go. But yeah, it's tough to decide. And if you notice, I have a bunch of colors on my palette already pre-selected. Just kind of going with it here. really want to try some gimmicky crag builds, like his figures like this Toth, Motley Max, with the Wraith Riders, the Yoink figures into lava. Yeah, I really like all those figures. I love Zatoth. I'm glad he's theoretically getting some support soon. But he's my favorite builds. Favorite guys to build around. At least in Delta. He's a little high standard. I kind of like him cheaper. Or did he raise up recently? I don't remember. Because I was thinking like Maladrix, but I've played so much Maladrix that I'm just, you know, I'm trying to play actually different. I don't get to play that often, so I'm trying to figure out new figures to play with and test them out. Let's start building up these skulls here while I'm talking. I'm using some Drap Brown from Pro Krill, and we are base coating these as well. But Zatoth is pretty fun. I'm working on my next kind of alt paint scheme video is being scripted and the figures painted. And actually, Dog and Day suggested that I make some knights with like Eldritch Knights that follows the Toss, since they work so well together with like crazy shield symbols. So that's one thing I'm definitely trying to do. Yeah, Melotrix is good. Yeah, she's just... I want to try different things. Like, honestly, I want to try some new stuff, but it's not painted yet, so I'm like kind of hesitant to play with unpainted stuff. Even though I know it doesn't matter. It's just me being... It's my ego. It's my chance to show off when I'm playing with stuff. But I might... I don't really want to run Gallery. I really just don't want to run like a big common spammy army. But, you know, that's the only problem without like those limitations, is if you don't, you get kind of taken out pretty fast. But I'll figure it out. It's getting to the point where there's just almost too many options. I get faced with paralysis every time I have like an event without a lot of restrictions. Because if you go to like an all-time VC event, you're just like, you have like 450 units to choose from. And I always like to try new things, so it's always like go back and forth. If I just played good armies, I think I might might do better in my events. But I don't know. I like wacky armies. I almost want to like try something with Chana and Heirloom. I feel like there's some play there. Heirloom's really good into squads. That idea sounds good. You should try having them in the new alternate figure. Yeah, that's what they're being designed for. I'm trying to see if I can actually get Dog and Days to appear in that one, but I haven't officially asked him yet because I'm backed up on projects. It's Scape-Oween. October is the busiest month for a Scaper. There's just so much stuff going on. Especially now we have new releases. We had a new release, we had Renegade Con, we have just Halloween shenanigans, and then we also have National Heroescape Day. It's honestly hard to keep up with all. Plus, just the October always just kind of starts the holiday season, it gets really busy just as is. At least for me. We're doing these bones first because we'll be covering this up with a lot darker black, so I figure might as well be a little bit less cautious about these and just kind of get them out of the way. We'll probably have to do some touch-ups as we do the black, but nothing too crazy. Talking to a Roguescaper collab sounds like a great time. Yeah, I met them at Gen Con, and It was a really fun interaction. And I don't want to be presumptuous. I haven't asked them yet or that. So don't get mad at Dog Days if they are unable to. But no, Dog Days is honestly one of my favorite Scape tubers. Just because I really love their analysis and way they approach subjects. So many tiny little bones. Yeah, I call Dog Days the master of the long form content. I'm kind of I feel like I'm the master of the mid form content, where it's not too long, it's not too short. I try to kind of keep it to a serviceable time, but sometimes you just want to have a long video, get your dishes done, and stuff like that, which I appreciate. Dog Days has helped me get so many paintings done with all their analyses. All right, how do we want to build up this black here? Do we want to go lighter to darker, or darker to lighter here? You know what? Let's get this blue back and kind of the mid-tone and work from there. Black is very much like white, where you don't want to, you know, if you just put black onto a model, you lose all definition and ability to go darker. Your shadows are instantly kind of locked in. So I like to kind of navigate it. The best way to paint black is to paint as little black as possible. Token Days definitely helped me dip my toes in competitive Scape. It's nice to see the thought process go into the tournament. Yeah, it's really interesting. I'm waiting to hear their Gen Con analysis. Like, honestly, I don't do a lot of coverage of like my competitive events too much more than broad overviews, just because I'm really just enjoying playing the game. Like, it's just like I don't get to play that often, so I don't want to like worry about it with cameras and setups and all that kind of stuff. I just want to play. Like, I'll probably make a little summary video for National Heroescape Day of my tournament, depending on how that goes, but I'm not planning on doing anything too crazy with it. I enjoy it, but sometimes, you know, it's like, even with painting, I'm like, I just want to paint a model. I don't want to have to talk about what I'm doing. Which is good until then you realize, oh wait, I actually do need to talk about what I'm doing. And then you have to buy a model again. Like, I painted this model originally, then I didn't film it. And then I sold that one off. I was like, alright, I'll paint Kilkorax again. And then I was like, I don't want to film it, so I'm just going to do it live at least. There's a lot of videos that get filmed, and then I just kind of try to edit it, and you're just out of focus the entire time. And I'm like, I always try to kind of include little broad tips for my videos that I do, beyond just like, this is how you do it. Kind of they're a segue into more broader things people can use in their own home painting. There we go. You get some really unique tones here, working with colors we don't usually explore too often. Alright, so I think our skin tone's dry. We're going to take a bit of faded plum and mix that in with that dark purple. The tiny bit of dark gray, just to really make it a little bit off. It's weird, desaturated color here. And we're going to start highlighting the tips. Yeah, a little bit more. It's dangerous. I have my drinking water cup here and have my mixing water cup both right next to each other. Playing a dangerous game. It's nice to see that Heroescapers have found some footing in YouTube. You got the painting side nailed. Hexhall has a lot of casual games. A few others have the competitive field covered. Yeah, we're all kind of branching out and doing things, and you know, honestly, it's a fun time to be a content creator in this sphere. I kind of started, and I was just like, I guess I'll paint the 3D figures, which you know, wasn't a lot of interest there because they're already painted. So it was fun to kind of, it's fun to see communities grow and new talent develop. It was I stayed with Hexhala at their Airbnb at Gen Con, and that was a really fun experience. At least on my end. I don't know how they how they felt about having me around, but I really enjoyed it. They're some of my favorite people out there, even though we're technically supposed to hate each other. We're frenemies, but you know, I do find a chance to torture them every chance I get, and I think they do the same as well. So, and we're just gonna. So when you're highlighting faces, you really want to focus on the cheeks, the nose, the lips, and the chin. If you can kind of get that just softly going, I don't even know if this will show up well. Let's see here. So that's where the main focus is. And also a little bit of the eyebrow ridge if you have that. Real evil villain energy. I was actually thinking about painting the Diablo tonight, but then I was like, I'll probably do an airbrush for that. Just probably get a more cleaner finish. I just recently bought a new airbrush, so kind of been wanting to test that out. Airbrushes are tough. They're a new tool, but I figure I'd at least get some cool blends, some cool fire blends on that. And I'm going a bit higher on the highlights. I plan on kind of toning them down a bit. Alright, and we're going to take a bit of this orange brown, mix it with the drab brown, and start adding these to the skulls here. Skulls are the skeletons in general are one of the most fun things to paint because it's really hard to mess up a skeleton. I always recommend new painters pick up a bunch of cheap skeleton minis if they can, and just because you can just practice dry brushing and blending, you can make it as simple or as easy as you want. Looks like it'll be a big challenge. Yeah, I'll figure it. Hopefully, I'll figure it out. But he looks like he'll definitely need some fun blending stuff. And we're just kind of going around these skulls here just to bump up the brightness a bit. We'll have the tops. We definitely aren't finishing this model on stream today. We're just getting kind of some basic stuff done, just to kind of showcase how it's fully made. Just because there's lots of little details, it takes a bit to get all these little individual staves and bones and all that stuff fully finished. Hope next year Renegade lucks out and time with a lot of horror-themed units around Halloween time next year. Yeah, I do wish they kind of had like the Knuckle V and the Revenants and all that stuff kind of releasing towards the later part of the year, just so you could kind of dive into them appropriately. Because otherwise, I'm gonna have to either wait like a couple months to release it, or I don't know what I'll do. I guess they're common, so I could kind of just save a box for later. With all these comments being released, I think I don't think I'm ever going to be done. I think this is my life now. I have like 4 or 5 just squads of gallery. They're just looking at me like, when are you going to paint me? And I'm like, I have no idea. I'll probably use a bit of speed paints on those guys. Because honestly, I think it would look good and match their aesthetic. But also to save me a lot of time. I'm hoping we get like a nice tombstone set or a very cool terrain piece around Halloween time. Not Hawaiian time. I don't know said that. Alright, let's add a bit more of this black blue to it. To the parts I missed. And we're just hitting this back of the cloak, which I completely missed. Keeping our paints pretty thin, as we can't lose any of these details. Whoever modeled these was very skilled, but definitely was not thinking of painters when they made this. Some of these early AOA sculpts. Cemetery graveyard style terrain set would be super cool around Halloween. Something small just to spice up a map. Yeah, honestly, even just like some buildings in Heroescape would be really great. That you could walk in, take the top off. You know, that would just be great. Even just something modular like tombstones, kind of like modified battlements would be really cool. But maybe like some small mausoleums and statues. I don't know if it would have any effect. I think giving it bonuses to undead might be too powerful, but I think it would just look cool. Some solid on a block site blockers. Excited for the ships they're releasing. I think those are going to be really great for adding some interesting line of sight blockers. I hope we get some more stuff beyond just rock outcrops. I like them, but like now we have lava, ice, and dungeon. I don't think we need any more. Let me look at the model real fast. Okay. So those are black around her arms. Okay, cool. What color are wings? I think they're pink. Well, they're kind of grayish black too. Do I want to make them pink just to stand out? No, we'll make them. We'll keep them gray, but maybe mixing just a bit of ivory into them. So we'll use dark gray and ivory just to kind of make them appear a bit brighter. Almost want to make them kind of like a This is where I might deviate here. I think I'm going to go a bit more burgundy and gray. Kind of a neutral burgundy here. I think I am going to go more for a pink tone. Just to... It's all dark tones. It's not interesting. Yeah, I love the cannon too. The cannon's really awesome. It's tough because I'm kind of like in the middle between competitive and casual play. I think both sides could learn from each other a bit, if that makes any sense. Like, I think competitive could just have a bit more variance and a bit more fun in it, and I think casual play could use a bit more structure. And I think cannons would be a really fun way to add that in. Yeah, it's tough nowadays. It's like, I enjoy like a casual game, but I also really like playing on a competitive levels. Just like, because when I play casual, usually my opponent, I'm teaching them the game and they don't know like what they're doing. So I have to kind of play for them, say, oh, this is a good move, roll these dice. Whereas in competitive, your opponent usually knows what they're doing and they're telling you mistakes you made, and it's just a whole different experience. They're there to win and there to be serious and have fun. Whereas casual is just get some buddies around, get some snacks, and roll some dice. Yeah, I do think that the cannons are worth trying. I think they could be. I wish the range was. I think they could reduce the cannons' range to not 8, and maybe just make it, like 4. Because I think that would give some melee units something more interesting than just glyphs to go to. Because honestly, a lot of the times glyphs are pretty inconsequential. My hot take is I think more competitive maps need glyphs in the center, but I think I hate them off the side where you really have to like sacrifice so many units just to hold it for usually something that's not too impactful. It's pretty minor. Like, you either really need a glyph or you just kind of ignore it. I like glyphs that give you extra stats and stuff like that, but not extra defense. Extra defense glyphs are not fun. I do agree with that. Any glyph that lets you stay alive longer while you're on the glyph creates a snowball effect that's not too fun. I really enjoy treasure glyphs. I wish more treasure glyphs were used. I'm liking this burgundy for the wings. It looks a little bit more vicious, I think. See, I always start off like I'm gonna follow the instructions, and then I kind of I like this color more. Is usually how it happens. But I really like this kind of almost meat red, for lack of a better word. Alright, let's go back to our... Yeah, I think if you made it like a 4 or 5 range, non-splash damage, with the ability for units in your army to take range and hold positions, yeah, I think just competitive cannons would be really, really fun. And also makes it so that like you don't have to have range units in your army. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I like this color for the wings. I think black on black on black is just, it's not too interesting. Alright, so this is all bones here. The bones are their money. It's also their food. Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna have a lot of fun painting all these new units announced, though. I'm really, I'm looking forward to it. I think they really like the Thorman's Thunder is a really great release in my opinion. I honestly don't know how I feel about the G.I. Joe. I might get G.I. Joe painted. I don't know if I'll be too interested in painting them. But the cost difference is so high, I'm like, I'll suck it up. Painting's painting. It's just, I just don't know anything about G.I. Joe. I think the units are cool. I'm not hating on it for those who like it. It's just, it's hard for me. Like, I'd rather paint 30 Snake Men than a G.I. Joe Cobra. Oh, the Revenants? I have some ideas. Someone suggested in my last stream that I should paint them like Phantom Knights, which I think is really cool. I'm probably going to paint them like kind of classically styled for them, and then just really kind of amp up a little bit of the gore aspects on them, which I don't paint gore too much. But I think just a little bit of like bloodied rags and hollow faces and so like make them a little bit gnarly, I think would be really cool. I haven't heard anyone talk about it, but the Revenants are probably the easiest units to proxy if you have some classic Scape on hand. You just bring some old models, which is nice. Yeah, I can't tell if they're supposed to be like more like zombified or like the spirits following Revda, so that's kind of the hard part. From the art, definitely seems they're more flesh and blood, kind of mutilated. Yeah, I like the Revenants, but the problem is I'll have to kind of paint them in batches just because they all have such different color schemes. So either I load my palette up and tackle them all at once, or kind of do like 3 of the Jandar ones, 3 of the Einar ones, 3 of the Ugar ones, and then just kind of go from there. I have a pretty good formula for the minions of Ugar, so I kind of know what to do with that one. The others I haven't painted too much of. I've painted some Sentinels, but I've never had anyone ask me for any Imperium. They're just not played that much. I'm hoping we get a new Einar hero eventually. They're pretty, they're, you know, it would make Empress Kyova so much more interesting. I was actually thinking of proxy them, just get your favorite sculpt from your squad and make them look undead. Yeah, that's all you gotta do. I mean, I'm all in favor of people buying into the game to support it, but I'm not gonna... I think that you can be creative and not steal. You know, like, proxying is free, and I think it should be at least legal in most places. I'm not a fan of people who like scan the models and upload them, because people are still making money off these. Like, if there was a way for the company to realistically provide the classic models for us, I would stop buying the or using the kind of scanned STLs of Classic Scape. But as of now, I kind of consider it public domain because no one's making any money off of it. But it's a tough balancing act. The problem with HeroScape, a lot of it's taxed as a toy, not as a game. So there's a lot of different tariffs for toys compared to board games. Yeah, stealing the scans was a great idea. It's a bit different with the old models. Yeah, honestly, like I consider it like, if you don't make something available to purchase, that's how you create pirates. You know, like, it's honestly, I keep on saying Renegade just needs to like update all those scans, or at least like a selection of classic models, and just have them available on their site. Have really good quality scans that people can print and include, and you know, modern contemporary formats. I'm sure there's reasons why they can't. I'm sure there's some legal reasons or licensing issues or whatever, but I think it would make everyone happy. You know, we get nice new skins. They get income from old stuff already created. They have updated card art. Like they like put some effort into it, and then we can just buy and support the game, which is, you know, ultimately at the end of the day, if we want Heroescape to keep on going on, people have to support the game, which is tough. Yeah, like I have actually the 3D model for the Hellforge. I was given because there was an issue with the shipment that I did for the Renegade Con that one time, and you know I'm never gonna post that or give that to anyone or like that, just because that's stealing. I guess at the moment Renegade shuts Heroescape down. Maybe I'll see what people want, but for now, it's something people can buy. I honestly think the Hellforge is one of the best like boxes to purchase. You can get like the unpainted model for like $20, and it's a big fun model. Hellforge has this problem that whenever I play him against new people I introduce to the game, he just can roll nothing below a 15, and he goes on a rampage. But when I need him actually to do stuff in like a competitive match, he doesn't do it. He just whiffs every time. Like I introduced some new friends to the game, and he rolled 18 burn rolls and then like 12 heal rolls. Like it was crazy. He just wouldn't die and killed entire armies. With a Valda glyph, he was just going crazy. Yeah, Renegade would get some huge brownie points sharing updated files of older models, especially that he can get slotted into contemporary. Yeah, it would be great. It would be, because there's definitely some gaps that the original designers just assumed people would play with, at least for AOA, that like they're kind of trying to fix. But you know, they just say, "Oh, Nagra sir, you can play." I even think just like a set list. Like I think some classic models are just not worth revisiting. I think I'd rather have a 2.0 of them. Like Sudema, I would love to see a 2.0 of Sudema. You know, like my pitch, my pitch would be that she's an uncursed version serving Revna, where she's kind of more of like the classic style Greek Medusa. Give her Frenzy because she has snakes, but she still has that Stare of Stone ability, which is now modified that when a creature is afflicted by Stare of Stone, they become a destructible object on the field instead of just dying outright, which I think would be really fun. Alright, let's get a little bit of bone tone into these. But yeah, I think it would be really, really great. And because they did like with Power Rangers and stuff like that, like it'd be a it's an easy way to support the game without having to break the bank. All right. Try to interest in Frontier Heroescape and play Vipers against Stingers, expect an uphill battle for season turn one, which was unfortunate. Yeah, that's the problem with the Vipers. They will pop off when you need them not to. At ScapeCon, I played like a game with Operating Archers, and they like frenzied like 6 times in a row. It was disgusting. And I felt bad. I'm just kind of sketching in the brightest highlights at this point. We'll work on blending these down a bit more in a bit. I swear with this model, it's like every time I do it something, I'm like, oh wait, I forgot like a whole section here. So a lot of progress in a short amount of time. Yeah, the base layer is easy. It's going to be all the details that will muck me up here for sure. It's when you kind of do this style of painting for miniatures, it's like, oh yeah, base coating, you can get like 90% done really fast, and then it's the 10% that will just drag on. It's like a loading bar in your computer screen. You're like stuck at 99% for 2 hours. But we're doing pretty good. It has helped that I've painted this model before, and I do have a bit more direction on what I'm planning to do here, which is nice. Before, I kind of had to build the formula from the ground up, and here I have a bit more clarity. Yeah, but Kilkey's getting there. She's getting presentable, which is nice. I tell you, it drives me absolutely crazy just having unpainted models lying around. I'm a completionist by nature, so I reached a point where I was like, oh man, I finished all of Heroescape. I finished all the new models. I'm good to rest on a grateful universe. And then they started releasing more waves, and I was like, alright, here we go again. It's funny, when I first started painting, I had a small box of miniatures I acquired. And I said, when I finish this box of miniatures, I will never need to paint again. I think I will have gotten my fill. And that box of miniatures is still unpainted. So I guess I haven't got my fill yet. The good thing about this model is there is lots of points that you can just kind of jump around to while you wait for layers to dry. Let's get a little bit of this gray onto our cloak. And just a tiny bit of ivory just to lighten it. Ironically, black cloth is defined in the highlights and not in the actual shadows too much. Yeah, 5 maybe. Painted boxes hang out in the spare room. Get my paint skills boosted before I try tackling them. Are they unpainted Heroescape boxes or another game? Yeah, we're just making a light gray here. Okay, we just put a lighter gray on these little stone implements she has on her here. Alright, so let's go to a bit of this black tone here, so if we can start building things down a bit. Problem with black cloth and hair and such is that you can't have more than like 10% of your highlights show through, otherwise it starts to appear as gray. So you really have to go back and forth to get to this nice level you want it to be at. If you just slap black on there, then you have no detail. Every Eisenach painted, Sonlin, Lucia, Decker, and Dragoon. Okay, that's a good spattering of things. The Eisenach, are you going to do cannon color schemes like the yellows for them, or are you going to try to do a different scheme for those ones? Sonlin's a bit of a booger, I will admit. I just painted my Sonlin recently again, and just those wings kind of get in the way a little bit. Stay in focus, you. There we go. Let's see how long we've been doing this for. We'll probably stop at an hour today. I do want to watch some TV. Maybe work on one of my next videos. I have a video of editing about the Gravegrim, which it's interesting. I did something different with the Gravegrim. I didn't want to make him like a pure black, like the model kind of did. Kind of more of these blue-gray tones, which it kind of just makes him feel more like etheric and stuff like that. But I'm proud of how they turned out. Some Armored Core Max in the most recent game. Armored Core Max, let's see here. Let's see. I gotta look that up real fast. Oh, that is interesting. So kind of like a matte color. Huh, interesting. Is that a Gundam thing, or what is that for? I don't know. I don't know what an Armored Core mech is. Blue Dog is fantastic. Yeah, he's a good little boy. Thank you. All right, Kiki, we're getting there. Although I'm running out of steam, I'm losing interest in painting you. Okay, so we're gonna take a bit of this pink and actually this hot pink mixed together with the burgundy, just kind of create this weird color here. It's some really interesting highlights, hopefully. We're kind of just scratching in some texture on the edges to really help define this. Probably should tighten up my base layer first, though. So let me do that first. I think it was a little sloppy with the bone veins. check out 9-ball armored core, probably a better reference. You get a dark metallic red with blue lights or something similar. Ooh, that's really interesting. Yeah, the eyes are kind of fun to paint. Although I don't like painting them yellow. It's not my favorite thing to do. Honestly, I really enjoy painting them kind of like a trash can green. But that's just more because I enjoy painting green than anything else. But yeah, I painted a scabreth recently. More just kind of as casual practice, but I don't think I'm too I don't know how I feel about the scheme. This is kind of like a red scheme. I'm not super happy with it, honestly. I think it just kind of turned. Red's an interesting color to work on. You kind of have to know what you're doing when you go into red. But it was more just testing some colors out on that model. It looks better, but I think I just got lazy. I get lazy towards the end of things. But let me check out 9-ball armored core. Let's see here. Oh, okay, that's really interesting. Yeah, that's not too hard. It's nice. It's a darker gray instead of a lighter gray, and yeah, that'll be a fun one to get done. I'd love to see the finished model of that one. The scab definitely looks unique for sure. Yeah, he's different. He's not my favorite, but I'll probably give him to a friend or use him as a giveaway or something. I was just like, I wasn't feeling it that day. Because red is a really hard color to highlight, because you either go into pink or you go into orange or yellow. And so you really have to kind of know the direction you're going on. And I didn't know I was even painting it red until I started, so... I actually had my daughter pick the color. I was like, what color should I paint this? And she said, red. I said, okay. But I somehow ended up with an extra scav in my collection, so... I'll probably paint my last one just in the yellow scheme, just because I know a lot of people are asking about that. I'll make a video about it. I think Scabreth counts as like Halloween. He's kind of body horror. Okay, so I had a question. I was thinking about painting this guy for Scape-Oween. Would you consider Haluchot like a Halloween-esque figure? I think it like a floating goat covered in snakes is kind of spooky. I didn't know for sure. I was back and forth on it. I definitely think Frono would be good, but Haluchot I was on the fence on. Let's thin down our drab brown here and start kind of creating a glaze on these skelly bones. So it's very thin. Trying to seal in some of these highlights here. Go to feature, levitation, control, other figures, massive figures, all fit pretty well. Okay, cool. I'll definitely have to paint that for Halloween then, because I've been excited to paint that one for a bit. It just is a fun looking model, and it's big, so it'll show up really well on camera, which is nice. Like, look, I could just be painting like this, and the camera will be like, oh, I understand, that's a thing. Move here and here, which is nice. Okay, so we are taking a bit of that burgundy and hot pink and just kind of tracing out these edges here to really make this a bit more interesting. It's very much like the Vivitch movie, which scared me quite much when I saw it. Goats were scary in that movie. Okay, let's get your midtones going on the backside here. I've done that before, and it has fallen into my paint tray, and that is a sad day when that happens. I did it with my frost claws. I dropped into red paint after I got all the white fur layered up. I was really sad. On the model, she has a lot more like pale white dusty bones. I'm kind of giving her more of these like warm tone bones, just to really contrast with more of the cooler tones we're using for the rest of the model. If you can get a contrast of heat and tones when you choose your color, you know, like cool blues and warm reds, it definitely will make it stand out a bit more. Some red bears look pretty neat. Yeah, so make some nice old Care Bears there. I haven't figured out what I'm going to be for Halloween yet. That's the biggest issue on my mind now, is getting a costume for me and my wife to be. It's just kind of sneaking up on me. I love Halloween. I just don't know what to be. Also, just don't want to pay a lot for costumes. I was the Mandalorian a couple years ago, and she was Bo-Katan. We might do that again. We have like the authentic helmets and all that stuff. And it was too cold, so we couldn't go out. So it would be like, no one would know that we're repeating ourselves. Although it does bring me a little bit of shame having to repeat. I like choosing a different thing every year. There we go. We are getting all the spots filled in. Oh, you saw the bears in person? That's awesome. I forget. I don't think I've ever met you at like Scape-Con or Gen Con or like that. Forgive me if I have, and I just don't remember. It's really tough because everyone has a Scaper name, like an online Discord name, and then real name, and I can never. It's hard enough for me to remember my own name. Much less someone else's fake and real name. I'm actually trying to decide if I want to go to both cons, Scape-Con and Gen Con this year. Just I don't know if the budget and vacation days will allow for both. But I love both so much, so I'm just kind of like, because I really enjoyed Gen Con a whole bunch. Like, it was really fun to experience everything, but it's also just like a lot of stuff going on. Where Scape-Con is a lot more focused, but it's a lot more sweaty, which I enjoy. I don't get me wrong. I enjoy the sweatiness of it, and also like the people there, and I don't know. But also it's like just Scape. So that's fun. Yeah, we have a couple Kansas City Scapers. The game store in Kansas City it's okay. We have a couple meetups there with some people. I've honestly it's just a little bit too far. It's about 40 minutes away for me to reliably run and set it up on my end. So I'm trying to get some other avenues going. I'm also just kind of a genuinely busy guy, and it's tough for me to orchestrate a lot of events, which I know I kind of have to do if I want to get a scene going. But I have the facilities and I have the equipment. I just don't have the time. But I got some plans. I'm cooking some things up for next year. Hopefully we're going to try to run a small con. My parents have a not a large con. My parents have an event space on their property that I would love to host some kind of events. And we'll see. I got 3 kids and 2 jobs, so we're looking pretty good on Kiki. We got a lot of highlights to do, lots of detail work to do, but I'm happy with the direction it's going. Thank you all for chatting. It's really helped alleviate a bit of the mundanity of our undead friend here. I haven't really realized I'm painting, so ooh, that was a close one. That one jumped right in. I should probably move it, but then you don't get to see as much. Yeah, I'm more of a big event instead of like weekly events, but it's I want it to succeed. I want the game to succeed and last a long time, and I'm really excited for whatever the Secrets of the Citadel is going to be. That's exciting. If it's like a new master set, like a new whole era, it's kind of crazy. If like you've been following like the HasLab, this has been like since like I see like posts I made about it in like 2022, which is crazy. Like it's taken us a long time to kind of get this all here. I'm so happy it wasn't put back in the vault. Like I was kind of devastated about it because I waited so long for it to show up. Because I had a feeling, I had a sense that someday Scape is going to be back. I saw the success of Hero Quest, and I was like, it's going to be back after this, and I was right. That's really what actually helped me bolster my painting. It was like I saw the Hero Quest, and I was like the campaign for that, and I was like, odds are high that Heroescape when it comes back won't be painted. So I got to start learning now. And I was kind of right. I'm actually surprised that painted is an option. I'm happy for those who don't enjoy the painting. How much things are going to be? Yeah, it's a bit hard. There is a big event called MeepleCon. It's kind of like a big charity convention. I'm in the Warden's program on on Renegade's side, and they reached out, and it's here in Kansas City, and they want to help run some Heroescape events there. So I think I will be doing some stuff there, which is exciting. Thankfully, I've been to a lot of events since then, so I feel like confident I could get one going. But I've never personally run like a whole event by myself, even though I feel like I'd be halfway decent at it. And we're just stippling on some ivory. Here. And regardless of how people feel about Renegade, it's just nice to see the game back. We kept it going, which is great, but now it can spread to way more people now. Yeah, it's great seeing new people drop in the community and get new units, have things to talk about, and just have people be excited about it. And it's I hope we can kind of get through the tough economic times we're all in right now and become just like a cultural mainstay. I'm hoping out. I think these next couple years will kind of prove to be important for it. But at the end of the day, if it does end, I will be sad and devastated. But we got so many awesome stuff like so far that you know you can't be like complaining about what we got. I don't even know who my favorite new unit is. I really love playing. I honestly love playing the new stuff more than the old stuff. Just because I've played the old stuff so much, it's really nice to have some really fresh options with kind of a bit of retrospective look on the whole game and where they wanted to go. Like people kind of talk down on like the Dryans of the Pirates, but really I appreciate whoever designed those just because they included niches that weren't just for the strict competitive. They're really fun. Like if you're playing a tabletop game, like just at your house, and anyone can kind of just slot the Dryans into any of their army, and they'll have a really good time. Like they're kind of fun. I keep on wanting to try them out, but the only place I have to try them out are super competitive places. I've been wanting to try out Garushia. I don't know if Garushia is good or bad. Shooting our first tournament here about a month ago at local store and some. It's a good amount of work, but it really paid off. Fun time overall. Yeah, that's awesome. That's Salem. Yeah, that's really fun. You know, we have some people. I just need to kind of find time to organize things. There's a couple people have expressed interest. We have a KC Heroescapers Discord, but it's been kind of silent. I just honestly feel like Heroescape is a hard game to consistently play at a game store unless your game store is like super sold on. Just because of the transport and the setup, it works better, I think, at like organized event spaces. And we are just taking this ivory mixed with a bit of that bone color and just adding some really bright highlights. With some stippling, adding some bit of texture onto these bones. The pirates are really fun. The pirates are great if you are running anything that's not common spam. If you are facing off an opponent who, if it's Jordan all unique, pirates are really great. They just they're missing some niches. I feel like a lot of the pirates kind of step on each other's toes because they all kind of do the same thing. Like they're all very fast and fragile. Like I feel like they could have used just a bit more diversification in stats. Like one tank, you know, someone with like 5 defense just to stick around and really kind of dish out damage. I wish the dreadnoughts had 4 defense. I would run them so much more. because then they're just kind of like a tanky, sturdy build. I get the 3 life and 3 defense, 2 life, but I don't know. I think they'd be a good kind of counter to bears, just really sturdy. For some reason, some 3 life, some 3 defense, 2 life units just never die, and some die really fast. Like Necrotech Wraith Riders always die so fast, but I think this is because you have to play them a lot more aggressively. But then you have things like the Giants, which I played against a couple times, and those things never go down. I think it's just because they can be a little bit more tactical with their placement, because oftentimes they're rolling 4 defense because of height and all that stuff. I wonder if Pirates will get a boost with Thorman. I'm really excited to run Thorman. I know he's rather divisive of a unit, but he is a cool looking model, and he has a lot of tech that I think we haven't even, as a community, even thought about. My music died. Okay. We're just putting in some of these colors here. Or take some burnt sienna for this hair and just build this up a bit. Although I do like how it looks. I'm not gonna lie. I think we're looking pretty good here for now. What's my opinion on Thorman being a playable figure? I think it's pretty exciting, but there's some mixed opinion on him. I really enjoy it. He was always destined to be a playable figure, and I don't think this is the final iteration of Thorman that we're going to receive. I think Thorman is initiating some parts of the end game, and I think we'll get like a Thorman 2.0 and maybe even a 3.0, because I mean, Heroescape is so inspired by Norse mythology, and one big aspect of Norse mythology is Ragnarok, and I think that's where Heroescape is heading, is the end of all things. And according to the lore, Thorman has very explicit symbology with a Norse unit, Fenrir, the giant wolf that brings about the end of all things. So so all that to say is, I think this isn't the last of it. I think this is stage 1 of Thorman, and ultimately I foresee us getting all the Valkyrie generals in some kind of form or another. Like maybe we get Utgar risen from the dead and Jandar's ghost. You know, like we get some weird interpretations of the Valkyrie. I like it. I never bought into the idea that we're the generals running the game, which doesn't seem to match with the flow since the generals are already established. I felt like you were kind of an outside observer of the conflict that kind of controlled it. So I think it's interesting. I think he feels like a Valkyrie should feel. So I'm a fan. But I also completely understand and respect why people aren't. Like, I'm not going to argue with anyone and say he is good. I just personally think he's okay. We missed a whole bunch of stuff on the hair here. Always got to look over all your models because you're going to miss something. But no, I'm pretty excited for him. He's a killer sculpt. I definitely call it all the pirate shenanigans being orchestrated by Thorman, so I'm happy that came true. And we are going to take and mix that with the brown. And let's just do the headband real fast, just to not have it look so muddy when it's finished. Okay, I am content with this so far here. We're getting there. But I think I'm going to call it for a night. Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts about Utgar's status. I could talk all night about it, but Utgar is in an interesting spot because he is considered dead. We have a powerful character who can raise characters from the dead, and Revna. What if Revna resurrects Utgar? But he is very much, I don't know if you've ever seen the Clone Wars. He's very much like kind of resurrecting Maul from the dead, where like he is in service to those who resurrect him, a pawn in the larger game. Because we really don't know much about Revna's ultimate motivations, and so I think that could kind of play into it. Oh, the last scenario definitely showed some interesting stuff with Loviatek. So maybe we just get a Loviatek general from now on. I don't know what the end game is. I am excited to see where it heads. But all that said, I think I am going to sign off. Happy National Heroescape Day to those who celebrate it, and yeah, run to control the car would be really cool. Yeah, it'd be a fun development, I'm sure, and I think my voice is running out, so I'll let y'all go. Thanks for watching. Bye.